Real Madrid defeat Real Sociedad 2-1 in an away game here in La Liga game match day 4. And for this match, it's weird. Real Madrid, obviously, they got the win. They needed the win. They're one of the only teams at the moment to stay undefeated in La Liga, with Bilbao having a match against Valencia. But this match, it was for me another bipolar match for Real Madrid. For me, I think they're improving. I think, from the first game against Mallorca, I believe it was Mallorca, Osasuna, until this, I feel like you see the progress of the players. Um, First half, I think Kylian Mbappe played great. I think Kylian Mbappe was the best player in the match. What a first half he had. I'm saying first half because Madrid in the second half just completely just, just different. And the situation is that is because of Dean Hoyson red card. For me personally, I don't think that's not. I don't want to be biased, but he was not really man on. He was more towards the back of the middle of the field, and Hoyson puts his hand here. He falls down. I get. I'm not gonna say it's not a goal scoring chance there, but I just feel like the referee completely just changed the entire. I hate to say that, like, one player changed the entire pace or the control of a game for Real Madrid. I said in the Club World Cup, the second Dean Huijsen's out, Madrid looked different, and this is what happened this game. That red card just completely changed Madrid's whole, I guess, tactic, idea wise, bench wise, substitution wise. Um, Here we go into with the starting 11 here. For me, I was surprised with Brahim Diaz again getting minutes. Um, for me, I'd prefer if Madrid just went for a top two instead. Add another midfielder in here. Add in Ceballos and Fede, so I would have Mbappe and Vini up top, like in the Club World Cup. Have Tchouaméni drop back. Have Ceballos, Arda, and Fede at the until Bellingham gets better. I love Brahim Diaz. He's one of my favorite players, but for me, he's not a starter. He's not a type of player to start week in and week out for Real Madrid. He's the type of player, he's on the bench, gets subbed in, changes the pace of the game, create a couple chances, try to get a goal, get an assist. For me, that's the type of role Brahim Diaz is for Real Madrid. And he trusts Brahim more than a Rodrigo. Or if you want to do, for me, play, um, I want to say Gonzalo Garcia, but I feel like that won't work unless Vinny or Mbappe is dropped. Uh, Franco didn't get minutes at all this game. Rodrigo, Gonzalo, this whole defense wise in the first half. Um, for me, Militao played great. I think Militao is a center back that we need, to partner up with Dean Huijsen. Carvajal for me was actually pretty good as well. Uh, it's weird to see Trent on the bench week in and week out. You don't want to see that, but Carvajal he was the best right back in the world right before his ACL injury. So you gotta put him back. About Carreras, for me, I mean, he's just, for me, getting better each game he plays. As much as I'm a huge fan of Fran Garcia, people say he runs loose like he's a chicken without a head, or something like that. Um, he runs, but he doesn't, I guess, want to seem to get a chance. Um, Courtois, the first half he didn't really much to do anything, but he made some key important saves in the second half. Tchouaméni Ceballos. For me, I like Ceballos. For me, he's really underrated. He was about to get a move to Marseille, and that deal broke down. For me, I'm happy about that. Um, if he left, maybe we could see. I don't think he's on the bench today. I believe so, with the Castilla player. Um, Probably got his chance there. Besides the lineup, I think it's fine. I just think that remove that winger, even if it's a Rodrigo, even if it's a Brahim. Uh, Even if it's a Franco, drop that, add a midfielder. We need another midfielder and just have Mbappe and Vinny up top. I think that's, for me, they looked pretty decent in the World Cup that way, and I think they should have that. Same with like Chouameni dropping back, have two central midfielders or in the middle and the two attackers up top. I think that Madrid should start. Sociedad has had an underperforming last season. For me, they have a really good team. Guedes, Ozarabo, Sergio Gomez, who I was a huge fan of. Alex Romero in goal. Carlos Ola, who just came back from PSG, used to play for Sociedad, and they kept Madrid nervous in the second half. After the second half, the red card, Dean Huijsen, personally for me was not a red card. Just changed the impact. I hate saying that. that one player. I mean, obviously one player can change the impact of a game, change the impact of how the team works. But as Real Madrid with a bunch of superstars in your team, you can't just rely on one defender to keep composure and keep the pace of the game, keep the you know. After that, Madrid just looked completely different. They Sociedad were the way better team in the second half. Um, Really weird seeing Fran Garcia getting swapped in for Vinny and Raul. I expected Raul Sensio to come in. Uh, Trent just getting a couple minutes, and David Alaba getting his, I want to say, second La Liga cap this season. But yeah, this game is it's just situations where Madrid are getting the wins, Madrid are getting the points, Madrid are scoring. Um, but for me, still in the match, they're just not really showing 100% that they can do. They 100% can do more, 100% without a doubt. They have the team, they have the players. Um, I do miss Jude Bellingham. I do miss seeing him on the pitch, and he's going to be out until he's back in training, shoulder injury. Hopefully, pretty soon. Endrick, I'm a huge fan of Endrick. Really want to see him get minutes. Same with Camavinga. We need these players back in. We need these players back in rotation. Camavinga and the midfield look amazing right now with Jude Bellingham being gone. Endrick could also, for me, Endrick and Gonzalo, they're just true number nines. And, you can see the impact Endrick and Gonzalo does for Real Madrid. Madrid hasn't had a proper nine since, if you want to say Joselu, you can, but as a starter, proper nine. Karim Benzema in 2022, 23. And then after that, Bellingham played as a false nine, and then Mbappe came, and you don't have a proper striker, and you have basically three left wingers that are playing out of position. But for me, I don't want to say I'm totally happy with this performance. I'm happy to see La Liga football being back. I do miss club football. International break was actually a pretty good break this time and around, but we'll see what happens there. Barcelona will go against Valencia later tomorrow, and at the moment, if not Valencia, tomorrow. Did they not play? Unless they're losing right now. They are losing against Alaves, which is actually pretty crazy, assuming the team. Mariano Diaz, Madrid legend. That's crazy. Hopefully it stays like that. Madrid, you want to be clear on top. Getafe are performing pretty well. They are going against Barcelona. That's gonna be huge for the top side of the La Liga battle race. And Barcelona against Valencia, and Valencia haven't been Valencia for years now. Got a 3-0 win against Getafe somehow, but Real Sociedad or lost to Osasuna. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little summary of the match. A few things that would, yeah, I say this every week, but I do think Madrid can come back from this, and their next match against Espanyol at home, hopefully. Yep, at home, September 20th, 7 days. So hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys then.